What's good, everybody? It's your boy, Minister Jap, man, coming to y'all with another episode of the Pervert Police Network, where we keep everybody on high alert for all perverts, man. Want to shout out to all of the fans, man. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Also, go to ministerjap.com for your Pervert Police t-shirts, hats, and etc. But let's get into this, man. I want to really deal with the topic that we have at hand as far as women being abducted. You know, a lot of women find themselves in a lot of unsafe places, and there's a lot of things you guys need to look out for. There's a lot of guys out here with a perverted swag. I coined the term pervert swag, rapist swag. For years, I've always told you that guy's got a rapist swag. That guy's got a pervert swag. A lot of these guys are overly aggressive. They roll alone. Guys got to look out for white vans. You know, overall socially awkward people. You know, women are not safe around socially awkward people. You know, and a lot of times, a lot of these rapists and perverts and pedophiles and things like that, they're really socially awkward people. These are people with no friends, rare to no family, and they seem to be around situations and be around neighborhoods. And there's a lot of things you guys got to look out for, especially if you got kids. I definitely recommend that you guys go into the sex registry, you know, in your neighborhood, just to see who's around in your neighborhood, because a lot of people neglect that, you know. But there are women out here being abducted, being imprisoned in homes, which is crazy. I know you guys remember the story of Charles Ramsey, the black man. A lot of people made fun of it, you know, jokes and stuff like that. But the black man, he was funny, but it was also serious, and he was also courageous and heroic to save these women from a man who had a house full of women that went missing in Cleveland, Ohio. Ariel Castro, I'm sorry. Roll the footage, man.
Hey, Charles, let me talk to you. I'm talking with Charles Ramsey. He's a neighbor. Walk me through again what happened this afternoon. You heard screaming.
Heard screaming. I'm eating my McDonald's. I come outside. I see this girl going nuts, trying to get out of her house. So I go on the porch.
Okay.
I go on the porch, and she says, "Help me get out. I've been in here a long time." So, you know, I figured it's a domestic violence dispute. So I open the door, and we can't get in that way because how the door is, it's so much that a body can't fit through, only your hand. So we kick the bottom, and she comes out with the little girl, and she says, "Call 911. My name was Amanda Berry."
So yeah, we all remember this story of how this worked and how this all went down. You know, this man held these women against their will, raped them, and you know, they had them captive for years. And this is quite common now. This is becoming quite common now. It's a lot of copycats of this type of situation going on, a lot of copycats of this type of serial rape going around, and it's going around in a lot of small cities. A lot of small cities with a lot of outskirts that's really rural. But you definitely want to be on high alert. The quiet towns is where this goes down. Be on high alert for all these perverts. But I have to commend the women who are managing to escape, because you never know what you're capable of when your life is on the line. You know, so again, one thing we do not respect these perverts. We want to see them put under the jail, you know, and there's a special place for them in hell. But let's get into this footage here, man.
Bay home where police say a kidnapped woman managed to escape from and a dead body was inside. The man accused of the kidnapping in Palm City is behind bars tonight.
CBS.
Now right here, this should be a major red flag to anybody in the community. Every part of this house has bars on it. And he even went as far as to put tarps on the windows. Now, from law enforcement aspect of it, I'm not sure why they wouldn't be investigating this house, because this looks like the perfect house for a meth lab. This looks like the perfect house to be a trap house. You know, no way in, no way out. You know, this would normally if there were good law enforcement, good proactive law enforcement involved, there would already be an investigation on this house just by the looks alone. This house looks like it's up to no good. Nothing good is coming up out of this house. But let's get back into it.
State's Jasmine Ramirez tells us more about the case and the man accused of the kidnapping.
Rafael Banda was arrested and booked into the San Diego County Jail yesterday. He's being charged with kidnapping.
Now, especially a place like San Diego where it's so close to, cartel traffic and stuff like that. Why wouldn't law enforcement have this house, on their radar? This is crazy to me.
And sexual assault. Palm Avenue and Saturn Boulevard in Palm City. This is where a 43-year-old woman told police a man had kidnapped her at gunpoint.
It's just shocking. It's shocking that it was just so close.
Elda and Michelle live near the house on Citrus Road.
Just look how creepy this house looks. Why have tarps over the windows, plus bars? Big red flag.
This is where the woman says she was held captive for 24 hours and sexually assaulted. A dead body of an unidentified woman was also inside the home.
It's scary.
And scary.
Super scary.
And there's another thing. This is why it's so important to be on high alert for perverts, because perverts not only victimize the women, sexually, they find means to dispose of them by, taking their lives. So you need to be on high alert for perverts, especially in your neighborhood. These women are sitting around here walking up and down the street, and this house is right here, and it's occupied by a strange man who speaks to nobody in the neighborhood. You need to be proactive. That's why we need the neighborhood watch and bring the community back.
We have kids, we're single mothers, and it could have been anybody. It could have been anybody in there.
Officers.
Again, for you single mothers who want to move in these communities and live alone, you need to be checking the sex registry wherever you move to.
Went to the home and found 44-year-old Rafael Banda, who was then arrested for sexual assault and kidnapping. Tonight, we looked into Banda's criminal history. This background check shows more than 20 arrests, with some bonds set at more than $1 million. It's unclear what these charges were for and if he was convicted.
More than likely, they're perverted charges. That's my guess.
Our neighbors are shocked just as we are, and I don't know, I've heard people wanting to move already because of this, because it is a scary thing.
The woman told police she had known the man for about 1 week prior to being kidnapped Tuesday. She managed to escape the house yesterday and flagged down a driver who called the police.
I don't know who it is. God bless her, but that was pretty brave of her to do.
Banda's bail was set at $100,000. Police.
Now that is crazy. For kidnapping and raping a woman, your bail is only set at $100,000, which means you only got to come up with 10%, $10,000 to get out on a charge this heinous. This is why California is probably the worst state to live in. It's too liberal. It's too leaning towards the criminals. Perverts need to be under the jail with no bail.
Say this is an ongoing investigation, and it's still unclear how the woman found inside the home died. Jasmine Ramirez, CBS 8.
See, we have got to be on high alert for perverts like this. Now I can only imagine what the charges that he had that had $1 million bond. But again, my guess is they had something to do with women, because most of these guys who are perverts, most of their charges when they go to prison are against women, crimes against women. Those are the perverts you need to look out for in your community. Men who have charges and all their charges against women should let you know that they are some type of predator. But going into the story at hand in the latest recent events, there was a man, he built a homemade prison cell to keep women in and trap them and lock them in a cell and rape them repeatedly. We got a woman who finally escaped, and the man has been apprehended by the Oregon FBI, which is great. And again, he needs to be held with no bail and locked under the jail. But let's get into it.
Held captive in a homemade cinder block cell in a home in Oregon, breaking free with her own bloodied hands. The door opening from the outside to that cell. The FBI says she has escaped a serial rapist.
It's a serial rapist, which means he does this all the time. They've been trying to solve a lot of these crimes, and you know, by the graces of God, this lady had, you know, the bravery, you know, and the strength to escape. And now they cracked this case because there's been a string of rapes going around and women not being able to identify this man who had them locked in a cell. So let's get into this.
They're now looking for more victims across at least 10 states, from California all the way to New York.
Tonight, the FBI says a young woman fought tooth and nail to free herself from this cinder block cell.
That is crazy. It takes a certain level of crazy and pervertedness to sit around and build a prison cell in your basement just to keep women captive. You gotta be a special type of evil to even think of things like this. But again, you gotta watch out for these lone wolf incel predators who hang alone all the time, riding around in vans, and you know what I mean, who try to hide their identities. These guys are predators, perverts.
Escape from a man they allege is a serial rapist.
The woman fought for her life, beating the doors and the walls of this cell with bloodied hands.
The FBI naming 29-year-old Nagasi Zuberi as the...
And again, a lot of people think that the description of perverts is usually older men. No, they are getting younger and younger and younger by the day. Stay on high alert for these perverts.
The suspect saying he had many other aliases, but whose career as an alleged predator living in plain sight began to unravel in Seattle on July 15th when he is accused of posing as a police officer.
See, it's places like Seattle that have rapists like this because people think that Seattle is going to be a very, very safe place, which is a nice area. It looks nice, but at nighttime, there's weirdos and dirty people like this. This is like that Unabomber type of swag. This is that pervert rapist swag.
Officer, he kidnapped a prostitute. According to the complaint,
now again, living that life of a prostitute, these are the dangers that you encounter because they are crazy tricks and perverts out here looking to rape and victimize you women because they look at you as the lowest form of life in society, and they think that anybody's gonna care about you. So just think twice before you start wanting to live that life.
Zuberi drove her 450 miles to his home in Klamath Falls, Oregon. They say he then locked her in this makeshift cell, cinder blocks, a naked light bulb, that hardback chair, and some water.
Yeah.
What a weirdo. You got to be some type of perv to want to sexually assault a woman who doesn't want you. Like, that is pure evil, and I don't understand why they give these people bail. I don't.
Actually locked her in there for a couple hours at least until she realized that she needed to get out of that residence because her life was in danger.
So they said she decided to fight.
When she was trying to escape the cell itself, she had repeatedly punched it with her own hands, and she had several lacerations along her knuckles.
Through her perseverance, she broke free and waved down a passing motorist, asking for their help to call 911.
The next day, officials capturing Zuberi in this Walmart parking lot in Reno, Nevada.
What a weirdo! Hanging out in parking lots. You pervert! Y'all gotta be on high alert for perverts, man. They waiting in parking lots, they got vans, they just sitting around being predators.
Complaint saying there was a standoff, Zuberi in the car with his children.
This is crazy. This man has his children. He has children of his own. Which means that a lot of these perverts are hiding in plain sight and living a double life. You gotta be on high alert for these perverts, man. Be on high alert because they are in plain sight. It's your boy, Minister Jap, man. Follow me on all social media platforms. Like and share, subscribe the video. I'm out.